One night in a dimly lit studio, Metallica struggles to complete their new album. Suddenly, Cliff Burton, the band's classically trained bassist, sprung to life with an idea. His bass line wove intricate melodies, dancing like stardust across the vast expanse of space. James and Kirk's guitars echoed like the calls of distant galaxies, while Lars' drums provided the heartbeat of the universe. In this video, I'll record Metallica's Orion in my DAW. Grab a front row seat as I break down the key, scale, chords, and recording process behind this timeless track. First, number one, I'll transcribe the piece. Then, two, we'll lay down the basic tracks and finish with some guitar recording secrets. Now, if you feel stuck, uninspired, or maybe you're just not motivated, you're unsure of what to do next, it's time for a change, my friends. Maybe there's some amazing ideas trapped inside your head that just can't get out. All of my courses, tabs, Discord, and even live classes you can get below in the description. Now, here we are in Planet Shred. We're going to be talking about Metallica's Orion today. And step one in this process, this is what I do every time I make a piece of music, is I transcribe it. This gives me an idea of what I'm dealing with, and it's also going to help us analyze the music theory. So the first thing I'll do is put in a key signature here. Metallica's Orion is in the key of E minor, which contains one sharp. That's an F sharp there. And we'll start with that main riff. So let's see if we can get that guy going. Starts like that. And then what we're going to have, I think, is this minor, or actually it's a major second interval. Very interesting. Let's see if that's even right. Actually, that's not quite right yet. We got that minor third first. Then we'll get to that that second here. So we've got, I think we hit that one more time, right? And then let's see if we've got a, there. Okay, I was just 1/8 note too much. So there's our first measure. Then what I'm going to do is copy and paste that over so that we can hit that next measure up. And then I think comes that interesting major second interval. Good, okay. And then let's see, after that, we have this kind of D major dyad there, but as we're going to see, actually turns into a B minor sound. So I want to copy and paste that over here, get some more sevens, because we got D and F sharp and then B. So if you're familiar with your chord spelling, B, D, and F sharp is a B minor chord, right? Okay, let's see if we can finish off this bar. Let's just see if this is making any sense so far. Okay, we're almost there. Now what we have to do is basically raise the 7th degree. This is the best part, to make this harmonic minor. And that should complete the riff. So we'll put in here Orion. And let's see what we've got here. Yeah. So essentially, I'll tell you what's going on is we've got the E minor scale that starts this whole journey into the stars. And that's how you spell the E minor scale. You could also call this Aeolian, but we'll just go E minor scale. And as you can see, that fits nicely within the key signature. There's the F sharp. But that's only half the story. So you can see everything's falling within the key signature here until Whoops, just put in downstrokes everywhere, which is actually fitting because James Hetfield is the downstroke king. But then here, you can see, let me zoom in, we've got this D sharp appearing. What the hell is up with that? Well, that's the raised 7th degree, and essentially that's just a harmonic minor scale. So if we copy the regular minor scale over here and raise the 7th degree right there, then we get this harmonic minor scale. And that's pretty cool. The whole concept really is known as modal interchange. That's when you interchange between different modes. Duh. So we've got the E minor scale initially, and then it interchanges with the harmonic minor scale. Another thing I want to point out here, which is really, really cool, is the chords that you can get from these scales. So basically, what we're hearing is these primary chords. And if we take that guy and copy it over, that'd be our 1. And then here we have a 4 chord, A minor. That goes back to the 1. And then it does in Aeolian this really cool move, which is like that. And then we're back to the 1. So listen to this incredibly rich sound. Isn't that beautiful? So yeah, we've got the E minor up to the A minor. These are the chords of fate, or the chords of the cosmos. And then that minor 5 chord is actually really interesting. So let me put in the chords here. A minor over E, yep, back to E minor, B minor over D, and then E minor again. Now, here's an interesting thing that happens when we play harmonic minor. We have a very special event that occurs, and this makes all the difference. It's the official language of classical music, and what you do is you raise this 7th degree right here. So we're going to sharp that, and we're going to make it a B major instead of a B minor. Oh my God, this opens up so many harmonic opportunities. Just listen to this. Oh, man, is that good. So we've got that E minor to the A minor. Beautiful. Back to E minor. But this time, we've got that raised 7th degree going back to the 1. Okay, so that's our foundation in terms of the musical vocabulary of what's going on with Metallica's Orion. We've got these 2 separate scales at play that give us different feelings and sensations and emotions. And you could say, yeah, it has a very cosmic atmosphere to it. Now, in part 2, we're going to jump into my DAW and attempt to recreate the sound of Orion more or less with guitar and drums and bass. And even though Lars and Cliff isn't here, obviously, because he died tragically in that bus accident, we're going to summon his ghost and do our best to recreate this track. Now, the first thing to do before we get into Logic is export the MIDI file that we created in Guitar Pro. So this is a really cool step. So I'm going to drag this MIDI file into Guitar Pro, and I'm just going to put it on the piano track here. This is just like a guide track, essentially. So now what we want to do is add our basic tracks. Basic tracks mean drums and bass. So you should always start with drums because that's the rhythmic compass, the foundation of everything. So here is my Easy Drummer plugin. This is going to be our Lars substitute for the greatest drummer in the world, right? Okay, let me create, what the hell just happened? Let me create a sequence object. There we go. In the arrange window here. And I'm just going to put that out a few bars. And actually, I need to trim this guy here. Let me get to my scissors tool. There we go. Now, we've got the guide track. Okay, excellent. And I might even just double that up. Now, what we have to basically do is get our drums going. So what I do, let me actually zoom in for this. We'll get you guys a closer look. Is that the one we want? Boom, ba-dink, dink, doom. There. Okay. Now, what we want here is to get these drums cooking. So I'm going to use the score window. I know everybody uses the piano roll. Sue me. Okay, so the first step is just to get a hi-hat count off. And we're also going to use the hi-hat later, so this works great. I'm going to adjust the velocity here to 90. That's what I tend to use. And then we're going to copy and paste that over to the first measure. And Lord Lars tends to stick with some pretty basic drum patterns, which makes it nice for me. I'm going to adjust the velocity on that to 115. So we got a kick on beat 1. Then we're going to go snare on beat 2. And then, guess what? We just repeat that shit. Nice and easy. And actually, I think Lars probably hits a China up here or something, some kind of symbol. And the other thing I'm going to do, well, actually, I'm just going to copy and paste this over because this is going to be the basic drill. And let me do that for, let's see, I don't want that guy in there. Let's just keep the hi-hat for that measure. We'll do that every other bar. So I'm going to copy and paste those over. And then what I'm going to do is a game changer here. I'm just going to randomize the velocity of everything. And what that does is it makes it sound more human. Oh, yeah. Okay. Probably not going to win a Grammy with that drum part. Well, actually, maybe Lars did win a Grammy. It's the simple shit that really is effective, isn't it? Now what I'm going to do is double this part over in the arrange window here so we can just get it twice as long. Okay, at this stage, we're going to take care of the second half of basic tracks, which is bass. So let's get a bass sequence object in here. We'll do the same process. I'm going to change this over to a bass clef. Now, reading bass music is pretty scary, right? In the bass clef, but we'll just do the best we can. I'm going to bump up the velocity there to 110. Now, yeah, what does Cliff do here? I think he does like a little thing basically like this. We're not going to get too anal about replicating this exactly right. The main point here is to just become fluent with creative tools, right? What we're trying to do is eliminate the barriers between your musical idea and the ability to actualize it. So of course you need your guitar for that and some chops, but you also have to learn how to work a DAW. So that's what we're doing. So let's see. That gives us a basic idea, a basic idea of the bass part. Okay, that's all like E minor sound roughly. And then we go to this B minor sound. So I'm going to change that to a D, which is the third of the B minor. I'm going to change those to Bs. Let's do the same thing with these guys, and then up A B, which stands for bitch. Yeah. And then finally we got to raise the 7th in the last bar, which is this D right here. So take the D up to D sharp. And Logic prefers E flat, but we'll just enharmonically change that to D sharp. Okay, I think we're kind of rocking and rolling here. Yeah. It just loops. Something funny going on with that loop. Where's that repeat? Yeah. Okay, what's going on? Let's glue these two together so that we can see what's up there. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yeah, for some reason we just missed that cymbal hit. So let's get another cymbal hit. We'll even change it up. Good. All right. Now at this point, we're ready for guitar. So what I'm going to do is equip some guitar tracks here. I'm going to go up here in Logic and I'm going to hit low latency mode so that it doesn't make me sound my timing any worse than it already is in real life. That's the last thing I need. Getting those mutes right. Okay, let's take a stab at this and see if we can do it. Okay, good. That'll work more or less. And then here's the really cool thing about recording guitar. This is a top secret thing. What we're going to do is record that same part, but we're going to do another unique performance. So this is called double tracking, and it's incredibly magical, the effect that it has. So I'm just going to solo, or I'm going to mute the last guitar part so I can really focus on my new performance here. You ready? Okay, cool. Now, we put those two together, you're going to hear a much bigger sound. And I'm going to mute the piano at this point because we don't really need that guide track anymore. We've already got our guitar tracks down. Just one guitar. Here comes two. Whoa. One guitar. Two. So that double tracking thing is really amazing. It makes a huge difference. And something that might be fun to try sometimes is putting another guitar track in right up the middle. Let's actually do that just for fun. We might not like the sound. Sometimes it gets a little too saturated, but it's a fun thing to try out. Okay, cool. Let's see how it sounds. There's taking that track away, back in. So it gives us a little extra thickness. We just did the one down the center. It's that. But add those two on the far. I guess I didn't mention the panning here is really important. So with the double tracking, make sure one is panned all the way to an extreme side in the stereo field, hard left to right, and the other one's panned the opposite direction. Otherwise, you're not going to get that distinction. Yeah, sounds pretty meaty. And there you have it, Metallica's Orion, the music theory breakdown. Get the full tabs for this lesson at my Patreon page below. Until next time, shred till you're dead.